My girlfriend pretended not to know me in front of her new friends. My name is Logan, I'm 29 years old, and I'm a civil engineer. I work at a construction company that, like most, demands I'm always available, but at least I have fixed office hours. I'm not the most outgoing person, but I've kept a couple of close friends from college, and for almost a year, I've been in a relationship with Rosara, a 24-year-old recent graduate in communications. I met her through a mutual friend, and though our personalities were very different at first, me reserved, her extroverted, we managed to connect. Rosara is the kind of person who seems made for the camera. She's always recording, taking photos, posting stories, and since graduating, her main goal has been to create content for social media. I have nothing against it. I understand times have changed and some people really make a living from it. But what never quite sat right with me was her obsession with certain YouTubers. For the past couple of months, Rosara kept talking about a group of content creators who, according to her, noticed her through her Reels and TikTok videos. She spoke of them like they were celebrities, though I'd never heard of them. She said they were an established team making viral challenge videos and were looking for new talent to collaborate with. She told me they invited her to film some challenges with them at the city's Central Park. I asked if she'd be okay if she knew anyone in the group in person, but she told me not to worry, that other girls would be there too, and it wasn't impromptu. Everything was planned and coordinated for weeks. At first, I didn't think much of it. I've always tried to be a supportive partner, even if I don't fully understand the other's passions. So I just told her to have fun, text me when she was done, and be careful. She replied with a heart emoji. That same day, during lunch at the office, I decided to step out to clear my head. I usually bring food in a Tupperware, but that day I didn't feel like sitting at my desk reheating rice and chicken. I walked to a small, quiet restaurant I go to when I need some alone time. When I got there, what I saw stopped me in my tracks. At a table in the back, near the window, was Rosara. I recognized her light brown hair tied in a ponytail, her white blouse with small flowers, and her loud laugh. She was surrounded by 5 people, 3 guys and 2 girls. From what I could tell, they were the YouTuber group she'd mentioned. They were all laughing, talking loudly, and recording with their phones as if life was a constant live stream. I thought about going over to say hi, even felt a bit happy seeing her so excited, but the scene felt off. Rosara hadn't told me they'd be at that restaurant, and honestly, as much as I want to trust her, the situation made me uncomfortable. I approached with an awkward smile, like someone stepping into unfamiliar territory, and stood by the table. "Rosara?" She slowly turned her head. She looked at me. She recognized me, I saw it in her eyes. But what she did next felt like an invisible slap. "Yes," she said, expressionless. The others stopped talking. One of the guys raised an eyebrow as if expecting a scene. "It's me, Logan," I said, my smile growing tenser. "What are you doing here?" She frowned, as if she genuinely didn't understand what I was talking about. "Sorry, do we know each other?" I thought she was joking, maybe part of some silly challenge. I laughed, that laugh born of confusion. "What? Rosara, are you okay?" One of the guys let out a muffled laugh and muttered, "Who's this guy?" She looked away and shrugged. "I don't know, maybe he mistook me for someone else." In that moment, I felt my blood boil, not from jealousy or paranoia, but from humiliation. I felt like a stranger who'd stumbled into a scene where I clearly wasn't welcome. I stood there for a few seconds looking at her, waiting for her to say it was a joke, that they were filming a skit, that she'd explain later. But she said nothing. She just went back to her phone, completely ignoring me. I left without a word, walking out with clenched fists and gritted teeth. I wasn't hungry anymore. I didn't understand what had happened. I had a knot in my stomach, a mix of anger and disappointment. On my way back to the office, I couldn't stop replaying the scene in my head, searching for a logical explanation. Was she filming? Was it a challenge where she had to pretend not to know anyone? Was there something I was missing? But no. That look, that coldness, it wasn't acting. She ignored me. She pretended not to know me. She denied me. I didn't confront her that day. I didn't send her any messages. I just went home after work in silence. I wanted to think, to calm down before saying something that could make things worse. But something inside me had broken. When I got home, I realized Rosaura wasn't back yet. It was almost 9 at night. 2 hours later, she walked in as if nothing had happened. She greeted me with a kiss on the cheek, kicked off her shoes, and flopped onto the couch with her phone in hand. "How was your day?" she asked without looking at me. "Bad," I replied. She looked up, confused. "Why?" I stared at her. "Because I went to the restaurant where you were today. I saw you with them. I came over to say hi, and you pretended you didn't know me." Rosaura's mouth opened slowly as if trying to recall or come up with the best excuse. "Oh, that," she said like it was no big deal. "We were filming a challenge. I had to pretend I didn't know anyone who approached. I thought you'd realize." "Filming a challenge? And it didn't occur to you to, I don't know, warn me beforehand?" "I didn't think you'd be there," she replied, shrugging. "Besides, it wasn't a big deal. Nobody knew who you were." That last sentence hurt more than she realized. "So that makes it okay? Because nobody knew I'm your boyfriend?" She put her phone down and looked at me, annoyed. "You're overreacting, Logan. Was a video. I wasn't going to ruin the take just because you showed up out of nowhere." "I didn't show up out of nowhere, Rosaura. I'm your partner. You ignored me in front of everyone like I was a stranger." "Because that was part of the video," she shouted, now more angry than ashamed. "It's not a big deal, seriously." I stood up from the couch. I felt if I kept talking, I'd say things I couldn't take back. "You know what? I need to think." I locked myself in the bedroom. She didn't try to follow. She didn't knock. She didn't text. She just let the silence envelop us. And in that silent darkness, I realized something. It wasn't just that she pretended not to know me, it was how easily she did it. Update. Thanks to everyone who commented on my previous post. I read every message, even the harsh ones. Many of you suggested Rosaura acted that way because she was interested in one of the YouTubers she was filming with. At first, I didn't want to believe it. I tried not to let jealousy or baseless assumptions take over, but honestly, the thought crossed my mind too. After the restaurant incident and her absurd, it was for the video, excuse, my trust in her wasn't the same. What really made me suspicious was how she reacted when I asked to join her at one of her filming sessions. I suggested it calmly, not as a demand. I just wanted to see the process, meet the people she was spending so much time with, and know firsthand if it was professional or an excuse for something else. Rosaura got defensive immediately. She said there was no need, that it was a casual setting, that they didn't even have a clear plan, that they improvised challenges, and that I'd be bored. Every time I brought it up, she had a new excuse. "Today we're doing something with water, you don't want to get wet. One of the guys is bringing his dog and you don't like dogs. It's at a park far away, not worth your time. It's basic content, you'd feel out of place." Excuse after excuse. And not only that, she became more distant, more evasive. She came home late, didn't reply to some messages, laughed at her phone and hid the screen when I walked by. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. I know it sounds bad, but I felt I had no other choice. I didn't want to snoop through her phone or put trackers on her, nothing extreme, but I needed to know if what she was doing was really what she claimed. One Saturday morning, she said she was going to film with them at a park in the north of the city. I grabbed my things and went on my own. I sat on a bench a few meters away from where they were filming. I didn't interrupt. I just watched. There were 6 people, 3 guys and 3 girls. All with their phones, small cameras, portable lights. It looked like a mix of a friend group and an amateur production crew. I saw Rosaura laughing, hugging one of the guys, too close for my liking, and constantly touching him, seeking his attention. What I saw confirmed what I'd suspected. She wasn't just denying me in front of them, she was acting like I didn't exist. At one point, one of the guys noticed I was watching. He walked over with an air of superiority and said, "Hey bro, mind not staring at our friend? You're making her uncomfortable." I stood up slowly. I didn't want trouble. I spoke calmly. "You mean Rosaura? She's my girlfriend. I just came to see her film." His reaction was immediate. He stepped back and looked at her, expecting confirmation. Rosaura approached the group, looking nervous, but when she saw me, what she said left me cold. "I don't know him. He's probably some weird fan following us. Can you get him to leave?" That felt like a kick in the stomach. Worse than the first time. This time she did it directly, without hesitation, in front of everyone. Another guy, taller and muscular, stepped in front of me. "We're gonna ask you to leave, brother, before this gets ugly. I'm not violent and I'm not stupid. I knew if I stayed things would escalate." They looked at me with contempt, like I was some random creep. And the worst part? She didn't say anything. No laugh, no wink, no hint it was a skit. She just left me there, humiliated. I walked away without a word. When I got home, I sat in silence for a few minutes. The apartment was as usual, tidy, with our photos in frames, her pink mug in the sink. Everything seemed normal, but I no longer felt part of that life. I grabbed a suitcase, packed some clothes, my documents, my charger, and left for a friend's place. I told him the basics, that I needed space, that there were issues with Rosaura. He didn't ask questions. That night, the messages started. "Where are you? Why did you do that? How dare you ruin my shoot? You have no idea what you did. Did you really leave?" Then the tone shifted. "I'm sorry I overreacted. I didn't want them to get aggressive. I was just trying to protect you. It's not what it looks like. Please, let's talk." A flood of apologies, crying voicemails, messages saying it all got out of hand. She said she loved me, that it was a mistake, that she only wanted to fit in with the group because she thought it was her chance to grow as a creator, that she felt pressured, that she thought saying she had a boyfriend would make them take her less seriously. All of it via messages and voicemails, never in person. Honestly, I don't know if I can go back to her. She didn't just deny me in front of strangers. She lied, exposed me, and humiliated me. How do you love someone who does that? Right now I'm on pause. I haven't responded to her latest messages. I'm trying to think clearly. Part of me wants to confront her, yell everything I feel, demand an explanation face to face. Another part just wants to move on and close this chapter. If I've learned anything, it's that respect in a relationship isn't shown with sweet words in private, but with actions when no one's watching. And she chose to deny me. Twice. Update. It's been a few weeks since I shared all this. Thanks to those who commented on my previous posts. Some urged me to cut ties immediately. Others suggested I talk it out with her before deciding. I did both. After I left home, Rosaura texted me every day, begging, sending crying voicemails and long messages explaining why she acted that way. She said she was confused, didn't want to lose me, that it was all a mistake. For days she insisted I come back. And honestly, I almost did. I wanted to believe her, to think it was just a series of bad decisions, not a reflection of who she really is. So I agreed to meet her in person. We talked. She cried. She apologized again, saying she didn't know how to handle the pressure of the digital world, that she felt insecure, that if she mentioned having a boyfriend, they wouldn't take her seriously. What stopped me was when she said the guys she films with often flirt with the girls they invite, and if she admitted she was with me, they might not give her more chances to appear in their videos. So you're saying you'd rather let them think you're single or interested in them just to keep filming? I asked. She looked down as if she knew what was coming. It's not that I prefer it, she said. It's what's expected. If I say I have a boyfriend, it kills the vibe. Sometimes they joke like we're a couple, and if I deny it, it breaks the chemistry. It's not real, it's just content. And what about me? I said. I'm supposed to watch you hug them, laugh with them, pretend they're your boyfriends on camera while I swallow it in silence? It's not real, she repeated. It's acting. You're my real partner. Then if you want us to work, there's one condition. No more filming with them. No more pretending you're not with me. If you want to create content, do it alone or with people who respect me as your partner. I'm not staying in the background. She was silent for a long time. I thought she'd agree, hug me, say it wasn't worth losing what we had over a few videos. But no. She said, I can't promise that. This is what I want to do. This is the group I'm growing with. And if I have to pretend things to make it work, I will. It's not personal. That's when I knew. No more explanations were needed. Then you've made your choice, I said. But I don't want this for my life. I don't want to be with someone who hides me, denies me, or makes me look ridiculous for a camera or a few likes. I stood up. She didn't try to stop me. She just sat there, eyes teary but resolute, like she'd made her choice too. Today I'm writing this from a new place. I moved out. I've started refocusing on my life, my work, the things I neglected while trying to hold up a relationship that, in the end, wasn't protecting me. I don't hate her. I don't regret loving her. But I deserve something different. Something real. Someone who isn't afraid to say they're with me, even when no one's watching. Thanks for reading.